Hey guys, welcome back to Bueno Season 3. I'm so excited. I am your host, Clayton Bueno, and if you don't know me, or if you know of me, or you're just catching up and this is your first impression, I am a college content creator and I am just showing my life and you guys get to grow up with me. I am so excited that I get to share my experiences with you guys. No matter how high or low everything will be, you will get to see everything. And I mean like everything. Heartbreaks to me falling in love. And I honestly, it's a lot. It's a lot to process. It's a lot to process for the normal human being, but I'm not normal, you know? So let's go into the new season. So something that I left season 2 of was just more so emotional. I feel like it was just me going through so many heartbreaks and tough realizations that am going to, not like some guy not liking me, then failing classes and just, not feeling that I'm ahead of life or that I'm falling behind. And all those things are completely natural. I think I handled them in the best way possible. Sometimes some could argue that it was a lot and it was sticking a knife into or putting salt into an open wound for some people, but we grow through those experiences. I feel like I learned more from each failure, and the more failures means the more resilient I can be, and I know I can handle situations a lot better from those experiences. But regardless of that, failure, rejection, that is part of life, but rejection is the highest form of protection. So I am really like nailing that in for 2026. So for the ending of season 2, it was, very emotional, but I feel like it's just like a little fart that kind of had to come out, or it just something that I wanted to share with the world, regardless if it was going to be popular or if it was going to be, my least like favorite episode to publish or something like that. But I feel like being as brutally honest and vulnerable with you guys is how that builds character, I think. Or, it helps, just venting helps sometimes, but be careful because vents also connect to other airways. So be careful who you are venting to, but I decided to vent to the general public online. So you know what? I did that to myself. But what I will say for season 3, I want it to be powerful. I want people to feel their best selves, put self-expression and self-possession at the forefront of mostly everything, and just breaking the normal boundary that is set in life. So we can talk about that, but let me go into, I wrote like a whole little script of what No Bueno meant to me. It's kind of like a little last hurrah. So I actually did have an entire promo shoot with all of my friends to promote this new season. I feel like I didn't have any content. I would only post clips, and it wasn't really like helping me. I wanted people to know and meet the people that I'm having on my podcast, or just get the editorial vibe of what is the tone set for this season. So in the moment you stop negotiating with identity, comfort, or approval, it's saying no to shrinking, no to rules that were never written with you in mind, and no to living a life that looks good but feels empty. So from that is that I feel like there's so many stereotypes, there's so many boundaries that my parents or outside people expect you to follow. But to be honest, those people who follow those boundaries are kind of the most sad in some ways, in that they're not really living their fullest life. They gave up on their dreams in order for comfortability, and I'm willing to live in uncomfortability to get the life that I want, and I know I can get there. Anyways, this season was created for the better version of me, not the safer one, but the one that waits to be chosen. The world loves to label desire as reckless and confidence as arrogance. No Bueno is my answer to that. It's irony, humor, and defiance all at once. It's a freedom of doing exactly what feels right, even when it doesn't make sense to anybody else. Visually, what I wanted with this whole entire, photo shoot is that I wanted to be like red light motel fantasy, like Into You music video by Ariana Grande, like that whole vibe. It's just so sexy, like liminal space where every rule is dissolved, 80s to 90s nostalgia a little bit, and grainy flashy lights, late night phone calls, sultry but unpolished, sexy but not performative. The kind of allure that comes from being fully present in yourself. The wardrobe tells a story just as much as the setting. White boxers, tank tops, office siren silhouettes after hours, power with dressing stripped down to the instinct, clothes that suggest comfort without riggedy, confidence without permission. It's about reclaiming authority over your body, your choices, and your narrative. If this shoot does anything, I hope it reminds you all. Okay. If this shoot does anything, I hope it reminds you all that you are allowed to want more in life. So basically, the concept and the push that I'm doing with this shoot is authenticity and being free, like freedom. Like, so everybody was, again, like everybody was wearing tank tops and, loose fitted clothing. It's just supposed to express freedom that, if we were wearing tight fitted outfits, it's not kind of like going with freedom and self expression. It could be in a different way, but I wanted it to be like, oh, like we're all so tired. We're all so over it. Like friends hanging out, playing card games. It's just supposed to me feel free. I feel like I did an amazing job with trying to capture that moment, and I couldn't be happier with the outcome of it. I'm so happy that I could have that shoot with my friends. I feel like it's a blessing that I can like include my friends in my projects and they get to grow up with me in every single of these steps. And regardless if this podcast goes somewhere or nowhere, it's just that I was able to include my friends. There are times where I longed for my friends or people who I thought were my friends to include me in projects and want me to be I wanted to be chosen by those people. But I decided that I would rather be making my own path and choosing my people who I want to surround myself with. And there was a moment in life where I was like, okay, like if I was on this person's top 10 list of friends, I don't think I would be on that list. And I'm not waiting for that moment anymore for me to be chosen or make, just bump up and go up into the list. I'm creating my own realm of people and surrounding myself with people that I want to, who are goal driven, have the same exact, mindset, and see the world that I see it, not sort of in a realism way, but more so that there's so much opportunity in the world, and for me to go one traditional way because that's what the giant mass does, it's stupid. Like, I know that I can be very successful regardless if it's not the traditional way, and it may hurt, it may suck for some people to be like, oh, what is he doing, or what is the whole goal of this? But it's like, if you don't get it, you're not supposed to get it. Like, it's not for you. And if you see the world in the great mindset that I do, you will be a lot more free, and you're not going to think about how people interpret your life, or you're not going to worry about what people think because you're only focused on yourself in a non-selfish way. You were just prioritizing your life because you know what you want. So that is basically my idea of what No Bueno season 3 means to me, is powerful, sexy, freedom, and breaking the rules of the norm. So we can talk about boys and moving on to a better life, because that's pretty sure what mostly people care about. But here's something that I have, and it's about acceptance. I feel like acceptance for moving on is such a huge thing in my life that once I realized that it wasn't a huge, cloud over my head anymore, like it had no more control of me, because I don't know. So anyways, there was this one time where I posted on a reel. We can go look at it real quick. I had this one ex who helped me come to terms with my own personality, who I was going to be in the future, and that is coming to terms with my own sexuality and introducing it to my family a little bit, and being like, hey, this is kind of the way that I'm gonna go about my life regardless of what you guys think a little bit. Was it handled the best? No, it wasn't. There were times where I think I valued him as a person so much for what he did to me. It was very personal to me. So when I found out either my friends were trying to pursue him, or I found out what he was doing on the side, it hurt me a lot. So there'd be times where I would try to make him jealous. He would try to make me jealous. We'd go to each other's house, just pillow talk. And it was a toxic mentality in a relationship to be around. And I feel like that's something that not everybody will admit. But unfortunately, I'm me. So I was at the club in the summer with this guy who I tried, pursuing a love life with. And then he did something behind my back, and it just really hurt me to the end. And I tried reconciling with him in the summer and try making ends meet. But at the same time, that one image, that one incident just completely tarnished everything. And I don't know why my brain won't accept that happening and just, push it to the side. But somehow, deep down, it's just like, you need to figure something else out. Here's something about my old ex. It says, I saw him at the club making out and dancing with another guy. The thought of jealousy and anger didn't come into mind anymore. I more so got a wave of happiness that he moved on, and I should too. Our chapter has closed. I then found my current relationship after that moment. He's my favorite person ever, and I'm glad the wave of closure came to me to move on and be happy. And I feel like in the moment of, just jealousy and anger, like I said, did not come to mind. In previous situations, I feel like decking him in the face, it would be the last thing I would ever want to see on the earth. But in that moment, it was like, I don't have these feelings anymore. I know that's not a perfect mentality to think. It's not healthy. It's not the way that it's no good love story starts with any of that prelogue. Like, oh my god, no good love story starts with any of that, Like, you need to have a fresh start, find something new, regardless of how long it's going to take, but it's what you need to do. And I found the love of my life a week later, and we've been dating for 6 months and more, but I just can't imagine my life without Johnny. He's the most important person to me now, and I don't have an ounce of thought of any past people. I don't think about anybody else. When I'm with him, he's the only person I think about. And I don't know, it's just like there's no jealousy. I feel like I'm confident in my own self. Is that like I love this man so much that nothing in the world matters to me anymore. And I feel like that's kind of what I've been longing for. There's no thoughts of cheating. There's no thoughts of like worrying that he's talking to some people. I mean, obviously in the beginning stages, but I'm at the point where I'm at a more confident position than where I was 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. But I don't know. I'm just happy to where I am at life right now. And I feel like accepting about, removing toxic people or toxic friends from your life is just super important. And regardless of whenever that person or whenever you guys decide to come to that mentality, it will be a huge wave of relief that I don't have to worry about any of these things anymore. So, next thing I'm going to talk about is confidence and self-reassurance. And I feel like going into No Bueno Season 3, me pushing freedom, that also is having confidence in yourself. There are so many people in the world that envy confidence. And when they see confidence, they get nervous. They try pushing it out. They try saying you're cringe or, you're being selfish. But at the same time, it's like if I settled, I feel like my life or closed out my life a little bit for like 20 something years, and I wasn't being my most authentic self because I was worried about what other people would think of me or how it would be perceived, and it was only holding me back even more. There are times where I feel like my confidence is almost like off-putting to some people, but then again, it's the traditional way of life. Some people don't have the ability to have freedom or self-expression, and I feel like it's a blessing once I realized that once you take control of that, your life gets so much better. And I started, pushing all the negative thoughts of, like, what if I'm not good enough, or what if I was putting myself in a box of people where it just wasn't good. It wasn't healthy, and I think it was really amazing. Hold on, give me a second. Having confidence in yourself helps you carry yourself a lot more. And the idea of, like, you are mostly your biggest supporter. And yes, you can have friends who say you're the biggest supporter, but at some point, you will be on your own. It's up to you to make your lifestyle and make your own path to your own destiny. And I know how cliche that could probably sound, but that is the harsh truth. The world will move with or without you. It will keep spinning. It'll keep revolving. Like, I don't know what else to put it, but in a good mentality way, I feel like once I realized that, wow, we're also kind of on a floating rock. None of what people say matters. There was this one girl in high school that I feel like I did take a part in, but like a lot of people made fun of her because of her shoes, her hair, her makeup. But and to be honest, she didn't care. And she was probably the most happiest person out of everybody, comparing to like, people who would put on a face. Like, I don't know, I would be putting on a face and I was probably very unhappy, but she had the ability to not care what people think. And I feel like that is something that I needed to get. And it took me a few years after high school to get that. And I really admire her. I look up to her. I look up to her, and I feel like I haven't told her that. I feel like we're not close enough for me to say that, but as an individual, and, I could respect that. It's very respectful, I would say, like having your own individuality. But also reassurance is that people are going to like you and people are not going to like you, but you need to focus on the people that will like you, and those are the people that will be your pillars to being the person that you are today. And there are moments where I like I don't know, like my friends tell me I don't know, but reassurance is such a strong thing, but you just have to believe in yourself and not go with the crowd. It's super all over the place. I get it. But, and you may be lonely. You may be upset sometimes with, like, am I doing the right thing? Or what are people thinking of me? But that's the same mentality I'm trying to hide from. And the moment I zoom out from that, I'm like, wow, I am doing great. There are so many situations to where people would have given up by now or felt embarrassed and would have stopped. But, like, I'm going to keep going. And I feel like that reassurance is amazing for me. I'm building my own life and I know what I want in the world. And I'm not going about life in the traditional way. I wanted to develop skincare products. So that's a huge, huge step for building yourself up. And that is like self-investment and believing in yourself that you are creating something that will help the world and not something that's going to die down. Like, I fully believe in myself and my abilities that I will be very successful. And I know that this is my calling. And the corporate life, I get it. It's safe. I would do it too. But to be honest, I don't think I would do it. It sounds very depressing. It sounds very sad. And it's just not who I am as a person. It's not the life that I'm longing for. Like, there are so many jobs and opportunities to where I know I would succeed. I know I'd be successful. Like a marketing major or communications, I would be stellar. But it's such a saturated field. And I know there's probably going to be somebody better than me. And there's going to be somebody who's going to be more cutthroat than me to get where they want to be. But to be honest, it's not the life that I think I deserve. Like, it's just, it's safe. It's a safe life. And regardless or not, you can still get the rug pulled underneath you and you can still get fired, and it doesn't even matter what you do because it's just a company corporate. They will always looking to replace you with somebody else or somebody more cheaper. Like, they will do anything to cut corners. And unfortunately, getting the rug pulled underneath you, like while you're in your 30s or 40s, or even you move to a different place for a company and they fire you the next week, like, it's so much uncertainty in a different aspect. I feel like you're trying to get certainty and trying to chase safety. And while you're trying to chase safety, you're paying attention. You're losing out on all experiences in life that will actually help you be in a safer place, if that makes sense. So moving at your own pace and, putting jealousy aside and feeling like you're falling behind. I feel like that is such a huge thing in people in their 20s, let alone 30s. But you know what I can say as my own person and my own individual is that I would be comparing myself to somebody who else was doing social media. And they're so much more successful, makeup or fashion or just creating more content. But it wasn't more so as that they were tailoring to their own audience. And I was trying to find my way in that audience, but I had no business being in that realm. So I'm not a makeup artist. Why would I post makeup tutorials? Like, I'm not good at makeup skills. I'm good at uplifting people and posting self-confidence and being my own person, but it wasn't my own like market that I needed to be in. Like, I was comparing myself to a fashion beauty blogger and I was like, why am I not getting those numbers? Like, why am I not successful? Why am I not getting those brand deals? But in the end, it wasn't meant for me, and that's okay. And not everything has to be a yes, I feel like knowing your own niche and where you belong is a lot more stronger than trying to fit in places to where you don't belong. But anyways, that was kind of like the jealousy that I was feeling, is that I wasn't in that person's niche. But like, you have to find your own niche to grow. And I hate those videos that say it because it's like, well, what do you know? But it's like, that's could never be any more true. And creating your own world of people and realm of where you're creating your own community. I feel like that is more strong than trying to fit into a saturated and overfilled community. I want to create a space where individuals feel free to be themselves or go for the goals that they want that are not traditional, or, take those risks in life. I feel like that is my set of people, not fashion beauty bloggers, So that's what I wanted to do. And I feel like getting past that jealousy level helped me so much to where I was like, well, if I just do my own thing and create my own community, like, I'll feel more at peace, and I do. So that's what I'll say about that. Moving on your own pace, I get it. Yeah, people got LinkedIn. I downloaded it the other day, and there are people that have 500 followers. I didn't even know that was a thing. But there are some times where I'm like, damn, like, you're still in college. But I failed organic chemistry twice. I failed mathematics. I think it was like calculus like once. But, you know, failure just comes with experience. And for people to be like, oh, like, you failed it, like, wow, you're so dumb. But like, there are some people in this world who would give up because they fail, or give up because they don't see the end of the light of the tunnel, you know. But like, to me, I know my own purpose in this life. I know I want to become a, you know, a business owner of creating skincare. I want to develop sunscreen from 2 seaweed extracts. I am doing the research to it because I know that's where I'm meant to be. But it's also, I knew I wanted to be a marine biologist deep down, even when I was like 7 years old. I lived on Hutchinson Island for 20 years of my life, and, you know, just going into the ocean water and spending my whole summers there, and like, the ocean properties have so much healing benefits that I know that there is something in the ocean that can help me create my products. So deep down, I guess it's something that I knew all along. And I guess some other people have the same calling of like being a lawyer or a nurse, and they have like their own personal experiences towards that. But this was mine. And I know that it's a little low funded area of the world. I feel like that many people don't really believe in sciences, as we can see with our current administration. But you know what the fuck do they know? Like, I feel like that, I don't know, I just feel like that my way of life is not going to be the traditional way. And I know it's going to be awkward to some people. Some people probably wonder, like, what the fuck is he doing? Like, does he have a job? Does he have hobbies? And is he actually working towards something? And I am. Everything is on the back burners. But like, it's creating my own pathway, and it's not comparing myself to other people. Like, why am I not being a child psychologist or a nursing major or a lawyer? And I'm like comparing my notes to somebody who's trying to be a lawyer, but literally half the things were given to him anyways because of family. But like, I'm comparing myself to like accountants or something like that. But like, none of that is ever going to pertain to me and my path to success. Yes, it will when I create a business, but there's so many aspects and there's so many different viewpoints that you have to think about in order to accept that you are moving at your own speed. And even like Golden Globe actress Jennifer Coolidge and Demi Moore, like, they have been in the field for so long and putting their effort in projects after projects, and still not getting the flowers they received until, you know, maybe 30 years down the line, they get that award, they get that show, that opportunity that opens the doors even more. But it's like their talent has always been there. It just means people move at their own pace. Or so, yeah, I hope that's an easier way to understand it. But also, it's okay, you know, to feel behind, but like not too far behind. But it's okay to have those feelings. You are completely valid for it. It's just, don't think into a negative headspace. You need to think about the positives and how you can take these experiences to grow and to be the person that you want to be. I get it. A 23-year-old spitting out this information, you're like, what the fuck does he know? But I think a lot more intelligently than the average person, more so that I'm able to see things in different viewpoints than just be head straight. So the fear of being behind, don't let it kill your mentality. You just have to come to grasp and assess the situation about what your strengths are and handle it from there. So, I think valuing friends and dealing with distance was a huge thing for me, is that I would constantly be on the phone with my friends, you know, would talk about our days, say what we learned, or, you know, just talk about boys. We would go through just normal gossip. But then there was a point in life where I was like, you need to pick it up and be serious a little bit. So you need to start focusing on school, not gossiping, not social media. Like, you need to be headstrong. And I get it. Yeah, you failed chemistry, but that's a real hard fucking class. But I failed by 10 questions. Devastating. But I know I am intelligent. I know I can pass, and I know I can succeed in my life. So regardless of that, it meant that I have to put my friends a little bit to the side burner a little bit. And when I found Johnny and when we started dating, like, it was like constantly every weekend we'd be hanging out, we'd be, trying to, like, I'm trying to build my endgame love life with him. And, like, some people just think this might be like something that dies off and we're not going to be anything, but to be honest, like, fuck you. Like, we will be making it to the end goal, to the altar one day. So, but in the events of me trying to grow my love life, that I've had a pretty rough love life. Anybody who is my friend, we all know that. We know boys suck. Brandon, fuck you. Michael, my old ex, I think we have like one video together. I need to archive that, but he helped me come to terms with my sexuality and everything. But his time has passed, so my love life has been from the streets to the rocks. Like, it sucks. But when I found Johnny, it put me in almost like an amazing mindset that I don't think I could ever achieve with anybody. I don't think about other guys. I don't think about cheating. I don't think about talking to other people. I like, when I'm with him, even when I'm not with him, he's the only man that I see and think of. So it sucks because as I was trying to build my love life, I feel like I was putting my friends that I'd be talking to daily to the side. And I feel like that they didn't like me, or that when I was studying so long or putting school first, that they were upset with me. But honestly, I'm surrounded myself finally now with friends who, celebrate each other's victories, who celebrate our accomplishments, and I'm happy for everything that they are doing in the world. And it takes a hard weed out of friends to find that circle group of people who won't sabotage you, say things that make you self-doubt yourself, And there are times where you're trying to fight to be on someone's list of friends and trying to be their number ones. But to be honest, they already have their number ones figured out. Like, I'm not going to put myself in a situation to where I don't belong. I.e., when I was in a fraternity, I was trying to make them so much better than being fucking losers. But you know what? They were totally content with being in that area. And I was somebody who wanted more. And I talked to my friends who are in Greek life and we're in the bottom tier houses, and we're like, damn, like, we should have tried harder, or tried harder to be in a better placement and a better crowd. And it just sucks that I was trying to push such a hard mentality, but it's supposed to help them in the end, and they just completely rejected it. But regardless of that, is that it's important to surround yourself with people who get that mentality. So, and I feel like I found, okay, so going off of that, I feel like I found my friends. My friend Claudia, she's getting her master's degree and she's in Miami, and I couldn't be more proud of her. And when we were first talking, when she was going there, it was just a lot. It was just a lot. And, I was glad that I could be there for her. But there came to a point where I was like, okay, now it's my turn to get to where would get to her level. And I completely love and aspire to be just like her. I think even Mary, even when she went back home to X location in Florida, is that like, I am happy my friends have graduated and that they're living the life that they deserve, and I just couldn't be more happy for them. And I feel like they're in the same mentality as I am. And even JC, like my cousin JC or my friend JC that I met at Valencia College, like, it's just that I'm so happy to see my friends grow to better people. And I'm not jealous. I don't envy things. I envy like where they are right now and how they graduated. But, I think people move at their own pace. And I think I surrounded myself with a friend group who, even though we can talk for a certain amount of time, we can still pick up like nothing happened. And I feel like that is a huge blessing to have in friends, because some people, if you don't talk to them for a little while, they will drop you completely. But I feel like I have such a strong connection with my friends to where that's not even a concern. Like we will pick up back to where we left, and it's an amazing thing to have. And I love my friends so much, and I couldn't be happier with them. So, that is some of the positive and negatives I would say that I was dealing with in my friendships and coming to terms with. But I know deep down that, I could just keep talking about my friends for like hours. But I think I found the amazing friend circle, and I couldn't be happier. So research for skincare. I know I've been talking about, I want to create a sunscreen product, and I promise I'm doing the research. I bought a notebook. I'm writing down notes. I have how much the estimated cost of everything is going to be. I found my targeted seaweed. I still want to research still like, look into a few different seaweed strands. I do think it's important to have multiple strands of what I want to create, but I need to like narrow down the list. I want it to be a clean, safe sunscreen, so not too heavily preservatives in it, and I want to find the most efficient but most minimal ingredients that I can add, because I feel like the more chemicals in something, it's just so messy. I have skin that breaks out with acne from sunscreen. Like, I don't want that either. I want to develop the best product out there. Also, it's going to be US based, so that is a huge, huge thing to have. More so like importing and documents, but also the brand label of USA brand owned. And it's just a lot. I'm thinking about so many aspects, like investors and where I'm getting my money from. I know where I'm getting my money from. And I just want to have all the blueprint. I want to have everything laid out for 2027, so that as soon as the year starts, I'm going to go. I'm going to go for it and keep going for my dreams, because I know I can get there. So yeah. As much as I do want to publicly talk about the strands and the exact processes of everything, I will do that more. But once this idea starts to come into an actual formation of something, I feel like I don't want to spew everything out for the world and then somebody take my idea. But I mean, they could do their own research. So trying to be better, I feel like, is my huge thing for 2026. I feel like I need to be more self-confident in myself and put myself forward. I want to have a stable love life. I want to graduate, and I want to continue doing research for my skincare. Those are my 3 big goals for 2026, and be authentic on the internet. I feel like there are so many people who put on a face or, are just false prophets in the world, and I feel like that's not really who I'm trying to be. And I want to be as real as possible, also for like brand deals. I have turned down a few because it's fast fashion and it doesn't really go against who I am as a creator. If I'm pushing for reef safety and environmental factors that, go green earth, green thumb, why the hell am I doing fast fashion? I feel like holding content creators more accountable, more so like, if you don't like somebody, don't watch them. If they're not going against the rules that you believe in as a person, don't watch them. Don't support shitty creators, because those are the people that end up getting away with things. And I feel like I'm not going to take it as like even me, like skincare. Like, I felt off about posting skincare stuff because that's not really my primary target field as as my major or something like that. I feel like it's one thing to do the scientific research behind each product than trust like Tommy or Tyler or fucking like Amanda with a tripod telling me like a product is good because I tried it once. Like, it makes absolutely no sense. I feel like taking personal accountability and your own research and who you are trusting information from is huge. Stop listening to people that just literally get paid for the check. Like, it doesn't make sense. And if it's not a part of the daily routine, don't trust them. Like, that's all. Like, you have to start thinking a little bit more further ahead than just the baseline of things. That's basically what I'm trying to do, is just be a little bit more well-rounded with how I want to go about things. And I need to take like grammatical classes, because I've been using ChatGPT to type things a lot recently, and that's kind of sad. But I know I'll get there. So little goals, little baby steps. But yeah, so that's basically what I want to do for 2026. I feel like having a positive mentality, like, even if things hit the rails, you need to be able to handle it in the best way possible. And I actually want to be nicer to my parents too. I feel like sometimes I can be a bitch, but like for good reasons. But there are times where I value my parents so much that like I can't have like these negative thoughts or feelings towards it. Whatever is done is done, and I just want to be there for them, and I love them so much. They blessed me with an amazing life, and I am beyond privileged, and I need to what's it called? I need to take grasp of it and, stop taking everything for granted, stop being a bitch. Like, Be a better person in the world. Stop putting negative feelings out for the world. I get it. If a guy doesn't like me, I'm not going to go on a 20 to 30 minute rant about why he fucking sucks and go from A to Z through the list. Don't give them the attention. Don't fall for negative hate comments. I feel like I've gotten a few of people being like, oh, how'd you pull that boyfriend? Like, your boyfriend is so chopped. But, like, fuck off, first of all. But, like, yeah, I feel like being above it all is what I'm trying to say, is what I'm trying to be. And I feel like getting your own power, feeling sexy, feeling confident in a respectful way. There's content creators who post giving back shots and I'm like, that's not who I want to be. But thank you guys for that. Like, they're like finding your own niche in a respectful manner. My parents and my friends telling me like what I was posting is too much, but there's so much worse in the world that my content is just the surface level. So if they don't like it, they cannot watch it. If they don't understand the goal of what I'm trying to do in life, it's not meant for them. If it's not the traditional way, sorry, I guess, but I have an amazing life ahead of me and I'm not gonna let anybody get in my way. That is basically what I think No Bueno Season 3 means to me, and I can't wait to have on my guest in the future episodes. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about, you know, the overall vibe and what I'm gonna go into 2026. I love you guys so much. I could probably talk for hours, but I have studying to do. So I love you guys and I can't wait to see you guys in the next few episodes. Bye.